Have you ever heard a nation hold its breath? It was the night of 1981. The factory lights stayed on all night. The dormitory corridors were packed, and billions of eyes pierced through time and space, focusing on a small black and white television set. On the screen, in the decisive set of the Women's Volleyball World Cup Final, 14-15, Japan had match point. The defending champion was 1 point from victory. China was also just 1 point away from heartbreak again. History seemed to offer only one ending, but a 20-year-old body refused that outcome. Long Ping leaped. Her arms rose, her core tightened, power surged through her body. She exploded forward with a powerful diagonal dunk, shattering Japanese defense, breaking the silence of millions. 15-15. The script was rewritten. Then, bang, bang, 17-15. Match ended. The young players huddled together. In faraway China, firecrackers tore through the night. Media described it as a women's volleyball team igniting the emotions of 1 billion people. That ball marked the end of the game and the beginning of a collective memory. For more than 40 years since then, no matter how times have changed, one thing has remained constant in the footage. Everyone is jumping upwards, jumping to serve, jumping to the net, jumping to spike. The entire drama of volleyball is built on this extremely simple premise. Gravity pulls everything down, while volleyball players fight back upwards again and again. Ironically, this sport of relentless upward striving was originally designed to be less tiring. In 1895, an American teacher designed an indoor game for office workers that was easier than basketball. Players tossed the ball across a net. No jumping required, no limit on players. More about polite socializing. But several inhumane rules completely changed its soul. No holding the ball, you can never possess it. Only instantly entrust it to someone else. 3 touches. Any score must involve at least 2 passes, thus eliminating solo heroes by design. Without body contact, the only communication is that ball, imbued with power and strategy. This created volleyball's paradox. On the surface, it's about power and height, but in essence, it relies more on subtle teamwork and precise calculations. That's why, when it encountered 20th century Asian women's volleyball, a remarkable transformation began. In the 1960s, post-war Japan was rebuilding. A team of female textile workers was given a mission: to win back some dignity for the country at the Winter Olympics by defeating the towering Soviet team. Facing a height disadvantage, Coach Hirofumi Daimatsu invented the rolling dig and the tricky floater serve. He taught players to dive, then roll, dispersing impact into the floor, making defense an art of rebirth from the ground. He improved the float serve originating from Chinese women's volleyball team, allowing players to use an inward wrist hook to create a no-spin ball, making airflow over the surface extremely unstable. On one side, could suddenly turn turbulent, causing a final leftward drift or drop, leaving opponent guessing. With this philosophy of overcoming strength with gentleness, his Oriental witches relentlessly wore down the powerful Soviet team, proving to the world that there are other ways to defy gravity besides jumping higher. In 1965, at the invitation of Premier Zhou Enlai, Daimatsu came to China to teach. Japan's defensive tactics met China's long-standing focus on quick changes in timing and position. An Eastern Express, blending toughness and speed, rolled onto the world volleyball stage. Everything was ready, except a finisher who could turn strategy into a thunderous strike. 16 years later, in Osaka, Chinese women's volleyball team found their iron hammer, Lang Ping, and their opponent in that final, their former mentor, the Japanese team. Chinese team used multi-point fast attacks and Lang Ping's powerful spikes to tear through Japan's defense. Japanese team used tenacious rolling defense to save seemingly hopeless kills. Ultimately, the more skilled and more versatile Chinese team had the last laugh, and the spirit of the Chinese women's volleyball team was born. But beneath all the slogans, the image is simple. A group of ordinary girls repeatedly lifting themselves off the ground within a 9x9 meter square. That is one of the symbols of China standing up for the first time in the world of sports. Fast forward to the 1990s, Cuban women's volleyball team, with pure power and speed, pushed the powerful jump serve and high reach attack, turning volleyball into a boring game of brute force. The FIVB sensed the crisis, and in order to prolong the rallies and boost viewership, they took action. They introduced liberos, allowing defensive specialists to always on court just to rescue the game-winning shot. They replaced the old side-out scoring system, making every point more realistic. As a result, volleyball, once a game of who could smash through the floor first, returned to a psychological battle of who could break down first. Thus, volleyball's battlefield expanded from pure physical contest to the mind. A powerful spike takes only 0.3 seconds from hand to floor. Top athletes rely not on reaction, but on prediction. Their minds simulate the ball's trajectory before their opponents swing their arms. Years of training transforms the fear of defeat into instant calculations of the ball's path. That brought us to 2004 Athens. To understand it, we must first return to the Chinese women's volleyball team's training hall, known as Hell. Coach Chen Zhonghe, to help the team adapt to the terrifying attacking power of the Russian team, had the male players stand on a high platform and imitate the world's top hitter, Gamova, throwing balls at the girls. Players recalled that every day of training meant being hit until seeing stars, then getting up and being hit down, over and over again. Chen had only one goal: let the players' bodies remember what hell looked like in advance. He wanted the worst-case scenario to become the girls' most familiar routine. In the final, the rehearsal came true. Key player aggravated an old injury and left early. Chinese team lost the first 2 sets. Almost everyone thought the game was over. But a miracle happened. From the 3rd round, those girls who had spent years in hell didn't break down. Instead, it was as if a program was activated. Those spikes that once terrified them were now just a daily routine in the training gym. Their minds have shut down fear. Their bodies execute the scripts honed through countless trials. Receive, run, jump. This wasn't some miracle of sudden inspiration. It was automatic triggering of thousands of simulated training sessions under duress. They won 3 straight sets. It was a victory of muscle, and even more, a victory of the nervous system, maintaining order under extreme pressure. If Chen Zhonghe's golden generation proved through pain and sacrifice that Chinese people can rise from adversity, then Lang Ping, who returned as coach in 2016, tackled a harder question. In an era of globalization and professionalization, how can we maintain an upward force in a more scientific and humane way? She brought an international rehab team and data analysts, reducing ineffective high-intensity running and jumping, focusing on the details that truly determine matches, such as starting speed, teamwork, and visual motor reaction. In 2016, this group of girls, a whole generation younger than Lang Ping, stumbled and struggled at the Rio Olympics, but in the knockout stage, took down strong opponents Brazil and the Netherlands. In the final, they lost the first set but won the next 3 for gold. That moment, people teared up again in front of screens. Only this time, the jerseys were replaced with new names, like Juting and Zhang Changning. The volleyball court is small, but this tiny square is filled again and again with the anxieties, hope, and cheers of an entire era. Each generation has its own women's volleyball team, but what flows in their blood never changed. What exactly is the spirit of Chinese women's volleyball team? The 5-title dynasty once fell into a trough. The Athens heroes battled injuries. The Rio champions stumbled in Tokyo. So what's truly precious is not winning, but how they see themselves when they lose. When they are down 0-2, are they still willing to jump for the next point? When facing new rules and new opponents, do they have the courage to shatter their past selves? It's a constantly evolving ability. It reminds us that it's okay to be afraid, but move for the next ball first. We can admit the opponent is strong, but don't rush to accept the result. We can accept that some balls can't be saved, but when we jump, don't miss it. Like Coach Ukai's final shout, "Don't look down." Volleyball is a sport that always looks upward. It is certainly full of romanticism, but on the court, it's first a guideline. Looking up means seeing the ball rise again, and looking up also means seeing the support from those around you. The ball will land, the match will end, gold medal will change hands, But before that, someone on this side of the net will always raise their head, take a step, and jump one more time. This is the footnote of the spirit of the women's volleyball today. It only promises to always look up.